Most people cook chicken thighs completely wrong. They either end up with rubbery skin or dry, flavorless meat that nobody wants to eat. But here's the truth. Chicken thighs are actually the most forgiving, most flavorful cut of chicken you can buy. When you cook them right, they are absolutely incredible. Today, I'm going to show you how to get crispy, crackling skin, and juicy, deeply flavorful chicken thighs every single time, using the exact same techniques that chefs rely on in professional kitchens around the world. By the end of this video, you'll never cook chicken thighs the wrong way again. Let's get into it. Here's what you'll need, and more importantly, why each ingredient actually matters. First, bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. This is non-negotiable. The bone conducts heat from the inside, which means your chicken cooks more evenly. It also releases collagen and marrow as it cooks, which bastes the meat from within. That's where a huge amount of the flavor comes from. Boneless, skinless thighs are convenient. But if you want restaurant quality results, bone-in and skin-on is the only way to go. Next, kosher salt or coarse sea salt. Salt isn't just for flavor, it's a tool. When you salt chicken and let it rest, the salt draws out a small amount of moisture, then gets reabsorbed back into the meat along with the dissolved proteins. This is called dry brining, and it's one of the most powerful techniques in a chef's kitchen. We'll talk more about this in the prep section. Black pepper, freshly cracked if possible. Pre-ground pepper loses its volatile aromatic compounds quickly. Freshly cracked pepper has a bright, complex heat that pre-ground just can't match. Garlic powder, not garlic salt, not fresh garlic at this stage. Garlic powder distributes evenly across the surface and won't burn the way fresh garlic does in a hot pan. We want it in the crust, not in the oil. Smoked paprika. This is my secret weapon for chicken skin. Regular paprika adds color. Smoked paprika adds color and a deep wood fire flavor that makes people think your chicken came off a restaurant grill. If you've never used smoked paprika, this recipe will convert you instantly. And finally, a neutral oil with a high smoke point. Avocado oil or refined olive oil work beautifully. We're starting the chicken in a cold pan, so we don't need a ton of oil, but a light coat on the skin helps promote even browning and prevents sticking. That's it. 6 simple ingredients, but used correctly, they create something truly extraordinary. Now let's talk about prep, because this step right here is what separates average home cooking from restaurant quality results. Most people skip this or rush through it. Don't be that person. Step 1, dry your chicken completely. Take your chicken thighs out of the packaging and lay them on a paper towel. Then take another paper towel and press it firmly all over the skin and the underside. You want to remove every bit of surface moisture you can. Here's why this matters so much. Water and fat do not mix. When you put wet chicken into a hot pan, the surface moisture turns to steam. That steam creates a barrier between the skin and the pan, which means your skin steams instead of sears. You end up with pale, flabby, rubbery skin. And that's the #1 complaint people have about cooking chicken thighs at home. Dry skin equals crispy skin. It's that simple. Step 2, season generously. Don't be shy here. Lay your dried chicken thighs skin side up on your board. Season the skin side first. This is the most important side. Sprinkle salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and smoked paprika across the skin. You want an even, visible coating. Then flip and season the underside. Now, here's the chef-level tip that makes a real difference. If you have time, place the seasoned chicken on a wire rack set over a baking sheet and leave it uncovered in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour, ideally overnight. What happens during that time is remarkable. The salt draws out moisture, dissolves, and then gets fully reabsorbed back into the meat. The surface of the skin dries out even further in the cold circulating air of your fridge. The result is skin that is bone dry before it ever hits the pan, and that means next level crispiness that you simply cannot achieve any other way. I know that takes planning, but if you make chicken thighs the night before, this step alone will completely transform the results. When you're ready to cook, pull the chicken out of the fridge and let it sit at room temperature for about 20 to 30 minutes. Cold chicken hitting a hot pan cooks unevenly. The outside overcooks before the inside reaches temperature. Letting it temper a little gives you more control. Now here is the technique that most home cooks have never heard of, and once you learn it, you'll use it for the rest of your life. Start your chicken in a cold pan. That's right, do not preheat your pan. Place your chicken thighs skin side down in a cold, dry skillet. No oil in the pan yet. Then turn the heat to medium. Here's what's happening as that pan slowly heats up. The fat underneath the chicken skin begins to render out gradually. Because the temperature rises slowly, the fat has time to fully melt and escape from between the skin and the meat. The skin slowly dries out, tightens, and makes direct contact with the pan surface. That's what creates the deep golden, evenly caramelized crust you see in restaurant kitchens. If you start with a hot pan, the outside of the skin sears immediately, but the fat underneath hasn't rendered yet. You end up with skin that looks seared on the outside but is still soft and fatty underneath. Starting cold solves this completely. Now, pan selection matters here. A cast iron skillet is ideal. It retains heat evenly and develops a beautiful fond, those brown bits on the pan bottom that are pure flavor. A stainless steel pan also works very well. Non-stick pans can work in a pinch, but they won't give you quite the same depth of crust. Once the chicken is in the cold pan skin side down, turn the heat to medium. And now, do not touch it. Do not press it. Do not move it. Do not check it every 30 seconds. Let the pan do the work. You'll know it's working when you start hearing the sizzle slowly increase. You'll see fat pooling around the edges of the skin. That fat is rendering out. That's exactly what you want. Let it go for 10 to 12 minutes undisturbed. You can tilt the pan occasionally and use a spoon to baste the skin side with the rendered chicken fat. This adds flavor and helps the skin caramelize more evenly. After 10 to 12 minutes, gently try to lift one edge of the chicken. If it releases easily from the pan, it's ready to flip. If it sticks, leave it alone for another minute or two. Properly seared chicken will release on its own when it's ready. Never force it. Once the skin is deeply golden, and I mean genuinely golden, not just lightly colored, flip it over. Now you have two options for finishing. Option 1, finish on the stovetop over medium heat for another 8 to 10 minutes until cooked through. Option 2, transfer the entire pan to a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven and cook for 15 to 20 minutes. The oven method gives you more even heat all around and is my preferred method for thicker thighs. Regardless of how you finish, you're looking for an internal temperature of 175 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. I know, that sounds high. Most people think chicken is done at 165, and technically it's food safe at 165. But chicken thighs are different from chicken breasts. The thigh contains more connective tissue, and that connective tissue needs to break down into gelatin. That breakdown happens between 175 and 185 degrees. Below that temperature, the connective tissue is still tough. Above it, the thigh is incredibly tender, juicy, and rich. Don't be afraid to cook chicken thighs all the way through. They are far more forgiving than breasts. They will not dry out at 180 degrees. In fact, that's right where they're at their best. Use an instant read thermometer and insert it into the thickest part of the thigh, away from the bone. When you hit 175 to 185, you're done. Now, do not skip this next step. I cannot stress this enough. Let the chicken rest. Pull it out of the pan or oven and set it on a cutting board or wire rack. Leave it alone for a minimum of 5 minutes. For larger thighs, give it 7 to 8 minutes. Here's what's happening inside the chicken during that rest. When meat is hot, the muscle fibers contract and push moisture toward the center of the protein. If you cut into it immediately, all of that juice flows out onto your cutting board. You've just thrown away half the flavor and all of the juiciness. When you let it rest, those muscle fibers relax. The juices redistribute throughout the meat. Every bite becomes equally moist and flavorful, not just the middle. Also, carryover cooking continues during the rest period. The internal temperature will rise by 3 to 5 degrees after you remove the chicken from the heat. So if your thermometer reads 175, it will finish at 178 to 180 during the rest. This is completely normal and desired. Don't cover the chicken tightly while it rests. You don't want to trap steam and soften that beautiful crispy skin. Just let it rest uncovered on the board. After the rest, this is the moment. Listen to that. That is the sound of properly cooked chicken. That crackling, crispy skin shattering under the knife. And when you cut inside, look at that. The meat is juicy, tender, and deeply flavorful all the way through. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, perfectly cooked from edge to center. This is what restaurant chicken feels like. And now you know exactly how to make it at home every single time. A few final tips before you go. Always let your chicken come to room temperature before cooking. Always dry it thoroughly. Always start skin side down in a cold pan. Always rest it before cutting. And always trust the thermometer over the clock. If you cook chicken thighs using these techniques, I promise you the results will speak for themselves. If you want to keep cooking like this at home, real techniques, real results, no shortcuts, make sure you subscribe to Angel Culinary Kitchen. Every video is designed to give you the confidence and the skills to cook food that genuinely impresses. Because restaurant quality food shouldn't stay in restaurants. And be sure to give this video a like if you found it helpful. It truly means the world and helps this channel grow so we can keep bringing you content like this. Also, give our sister channel, Bible Scripture Lives, a look to experience the Bible brought to life in stunning cinematic form. The link is in the description below. Many blessings and much favor until we meet again.